Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. What a ride so far. I just realized something that, we say time goes by fast, and I often mention about being in the moment, focusing on the now, which is a great book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Highly recommend it. That I don't focus on the past, but the past is what got us to where we are today. And today I reflect back on the beginning of the year, almost 4 months ago. And I had a passion and a desire and a drive, and I look around me and I see the things that I did. Project 2020, life, I put up some motivational stuff, and I kind of fell off. And today, I feel myself with that strong desire again. And I realize where that's coming from. We have to be careful. It's just, I keep coming back to the fundamentals. You have to be aware. You have to be aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. And sometimes you do have to look where that's coming from. Your thoughts, the thought is usually the first thing, right? You have a thought, and then it creates a feeling. And then if you take action on it, that's how things are created in the world. Someone has a thought about something, they feel a certain way about it, and then they take action, and then things are created around the world. It's amazing, the stuff that we have and the technology. And so you control that. You can control here, what you think, what you do, how you act, how you allow to let other things affect you, other people, what other people say. You can't say that you upset me. You can say that this is what you said and I allowed it to upset me. You really have to take it down to that granular level if you want to get the things that you want out of life. If you want to be happy, not letting other people control you. And I don't mean that in a way where someone's like, okay, I want you to do this, this, or this. A lot of times people do things innocently. They're just doing them. They're just being themselves. And sometimes we react in a certain way. We either come down to their level or they help us to rise up. Whatever the case may be, you have to look at it and say, how does this benefit me? Where am I going with this? And it goes back to the fact that all relationships have their limits, right? Just because family's family doesn't mean that you have to be with them all the time or do a certain thing a certain way. You have people that you work with, but you wouldn't hang out with. You have people that you hang out with, but you wouldn't work with. For some people, understandably, it's all or nothing. It's like I don't have anything to do with you, or you have to be completely in my life. And that's something that takes time and thought. With this whole shutdown, I haven't had more time than usual. I just it's in a lot of ways it's been the same for me in certain aspects, and not every day being this shutdown. But I've really tried to take advantage of it, to really dig deep into who I am, what I want, and where I'm going. And the answer's not always right there. I mentioned that to someone that I need to make some changes, and they said, "Did you make them?" Well, change it's part of the journey, right? You reach one level and you go to the next level, or you reach a spot and then you go to the next spot. So, the main thing I wanted to talk today about was the fact of you don't know what you don't know. How do you know it? You have to seek the information. You have to ask the right questions. I've got a sign up here. It says, "Ask better questions and keep it simple." We have to ask the right questions. Sometimes why and how is okay, but for the most part, it's you just have to ask what. What is it that I want? What is it that I'm looking for? Continue to ask those questions. Continue to grow. You'll get there. And it's all about results. Are you getting what you want? And what you want changes. A lot of times we get stuck in this idea that it has to be one way or another. This whole pandemic thing, watching everything unfold, some of it's political, some of it just is. Do we reopen? Do we not reopen? Do you wear a mask? Not wear a mask? And you get to see the polar opposites of everything. Masks don't help. Masks do help. Masks kind of help. For me, I always look for the middle ground. I look for the far extremes, and then I look for what's in the middle. Always wear a mask, never wear a mask. Well, there's got to be something in the middle, right? That's usually where I gravitate to. But that's not for everybody. So some people are going to go far left, far right, and I'm not saying that in a political manner. I'm just saying to one extreme or to the other. And that's okay. That's what makes the world go round. If that's right for you, if that's what you want, if you're getting what you want. How do you know if you're getting what you want? How do you feel? Are you happy? Are you content? Not just saying it. When you wake up, do you have a happy feeling? Do you feel good about what's going on? Or do you feel yourself a little anxious, a little short of breath? Usually that's where anxiety, you can find it in your breath. That's why breathing is so important. And, I do that with meditation. Practice on my breathing, and it fills you up. It makes you yawn sometimes. It fills you up, and it helps relieve it. It's just it always does. Your body needs oxygen, but where you can control that and be in more control, and do it unconsciously, subconsciously, breathing, you'll find yourself more calm in more situations. My mind goes a bunch of different places. I constantly look for that one solid thing. Because it's difficult when you bounce around, right? You know, in this whole pandemic thing. It's, do I do this? Do I do that? How do I do it? And as you're seeing, every situation is different. It affects everybody differently. It affects every city differently. Every region differently. Every state, every country. And that's how everything affects us in our lives. It's all different. It's all situational. What's good for today might not be good for tomorrow. But for myself, I've found that it's helpful to find an anchor, something that is solid, something that I can grab onto when things, if I do feel anxious. One of my anchors is my breath. The next anchor is the belief and expectation that everything works out. Everything works out. Even though it might not look out like it at the moment, I look at that moment and see, where's my responsibility in that? How did I affect that? How did I draw that to me? I have to decide, did I? Was it someone else? Is there other people or other forces involved? Ultimately, I drew that situation to me. What do I need to do going forward? What are the results I want? What do I want? You got this whole life ahead of you. You can live it worrying about the past, thinking about the past, talking about the past, worrying about the future, or you can live in the now because all you have is right now. That last minute is gone. You are now living in the future. Everything you do affects the next minute in your life. If I hold my breath, it's going to affect what's going to happen to me going forward. It doesn't happen in a day. You know, there's a lot of great quotes. There's a lot of great songs. There's a lot of great poems. There's a lot of great books. They help in the moment. If you can move the bar, learn, go to the next moment. That's what it's about. You can do it. You can do it. It's tricky. This thing called life, it's definitely tricky. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, that's right on time. It's tricky. All right, back to your knowledge, your information, your perception. It's growing. It's a growing thing. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not doing, you're not being. So you have to get the pieces of information from different places. Don't follow one dogma. Don't follow one teaching. Don't follow one person. You can. You won't find your answer, though. You know, I compare that to the religions out there, and specifically Christianity. Look how many factions there are. You know, Buddhism, you have a few. I'm not, there's probably more than I know. I know there's Nietzschean, there's Zen Buddhism, there's a couple of different ones, a few different ones. Even Jewish, there's a few different sects of Judaism. But Christianity that one has so many. And what is it? It's somebody said, okay, I like what you're doing here, but this one thing I don't like. So I'll start my own religion. So I'm going to do everything you do except for that one thing. Catholics and Lutherans, for example. Luther said, I like the Catholic Church, but I think priests should be able to get married. So he started the Lutheran Church. And so on and so forth. Same thing you have to do with your life. You have to take what they say, get little golden nuggets here and there. And then you'll start hearing themes. You'll start hearing and seeing themes when you watch people, listen to people, read books or whatever, and you'll start getting that common denominator that resonates with you. You say, okay, that's what I want to implement in my life to start getting the results I want. This is so true. It's just results. Everything is results oriented. What do you want? Do you want to be happy? If you want certain things, you can have them. It's up to you. It's whatever you believe, whatever you expect. And a belief is nothing but a thought. Truth is relative. What's true to you might not be true to me. And that's just the truth. So figure out what you want. Go for it. Don't beat yourself up when you don't get it. Don't beat yourself up about beating yourself up. Sometimes it's okay to be down. It's okay to sit back and take a look. Don't stay there, though. Get up. Get moving. You can do it. That's why I suggest books and stuff. When I listen to someone and they suggest a book, I go on Audible, look it up, and I download it. And then I start listening to it. Some of them I get through a few chapters and I'm like, no, this isn't not for me. That's okay. Some of them I listen to several times. Knowledge is important. Knowledge is important. Educate yourself. Learn stuff. Learn. Grow. Get, be, do, have. I'll think of an ending salutation. See you guys tomorrow.